Hello! You are watching the Video Voters Guide, organized by the League of Women Voters of Portland. We are in the studios of Metro East Community Media to talk with candidates running in the November 2020 general election. All candidates who filed for this race were invited to participate in the Video Voters Guide. However, there are many reasons during a campaign why a candidate may be unable to appear. For comprehensive coverage by the League, including information on candidates who might not have been available for a video interview, visit vote411.org. Information is available in both English and Spanish. Candidates may choose to include additional information on Vote 411, such as their own YouTube videos. Watch, share, and be an informed voter.
Hello, this is Debbie Kay with the League of Women Voters of Portland. With me today is Alex DiBlasi, running for Congressional District 3 in the state of Oregon. Welcome, Alex.
Thank you, Debbie. Thanks for having me.
Glad you're here. Let's just get started. Please tell us what part of Oregon you're running to represent, and tell us about yourself and what unique characteristics you bring.
Sure. I'm running to represent Oregon's 3rd Congressional District, which includes most of Portland, Multnomah County, and portions of Clackamas County, including Gresham, Troutdale, Boring, and Estacada.
And
as far as my background, I have experience as a civil rights activist. I've been a member of the Green Party since 2012. I've protested police injustice and racial injustice in the streets of Portland. I am an anarchist who is running on the Green and Progressive tickets, and I support Medicare for all, unlike my opponents in this race.
Thank you. What do you think that Congress should do to deal with climate change? In your opinion, is Congress doing enough to combat climate change? And if not, what specific initiatives would you support?
Well, we were warned in 2011 by climate scientists that we were reaching a tipping point, and phrases like irreversible damage were coming out then. Our inaction then created the situation we are in now. Congress has not done much of anything other than sky-high rhetoric with regards to climate change. I've authored my own version of the Green New Deal, which incorporates the best elements from the Green Party's Green New Deal and some ideas from the Democrats, as well as some of my own. The Green New Deal would rejuvenate labor, but also change our approach to energy production. We would completely switch to non-renewables by 2030 under this plan. The motivation to revitalize our infrastructure would create 20 million jobs, along with retrofitting and designing new, innovative, clean energy technologies. So I'm a big supporter of the Green New Deal as it existed when the Green Party wrote it. I don't like the Democratic version of the Green New Deal, so I think we can split the difference and come up with a better solution, but we need to get off fossil fuels by the end of this decade, or the irreversible damage will continue to worsen.
Thank you. What legislation do you support or would you propose regarding a federal response to the COVID-19 pandemic?
For the COVID-19 pandemic, every American family should be receiving a stimulus check monthly. $1,200 paid out once. At this point in time, I think that breaks down to something like $6 a day, maybe less. Even the monthly payment is only a $40 a day stipend. As part of the Green New Deal that I've authored, there's a provision in there that so long as the COVID pandemic is a public health crisis, that working families and that Americans can receive stimulus checks to make up for any economic shortfalls from job loss, the closures of businesses, the shutting down of basic services. So that's one thing I support with COVID, is the implementation of universal basic income. We also need Medicare for all. The COVID pandemic has laid bare that we have needed Medicare for all. Healthcare should be an accessible, free service to all citizens. The COVID pandemic has made it very obvious that we need Medicare for all. That because of the focus on our healthcare facilities right now to treat COVID patients and the lack of affordability of healthcare, people are opting out of going to the doctor for symptoms that could potentially lead to greater diseases. there are people who are dying during the COVID pandemic who don't have COVID. They're simply not going to the doctor because of the stay-home orders, because of concerns that they won't be able to pay. They've lost their jobs. Medicare for all. I hate to ape Bernie Sanders, but is it really that radical to think that healthcare should be a basic human right, especially in a country as developed and economically powerful as the United States?
Thank you. If elected, what will be your top priorities during the next session of Congress to specifically help Oregonians in your district?
So my three major priorities for the campaign, and these are not priorities that have been discussed by my Democratic opponent, unfortunately, though he's been for them in the past, has been the Green New Deal, Medicare for all, and implementing universal basic income. Another personal thing that I hope we could do if I were to be elected was to pass a tax on Wall Street, to tax Wall Street transactions and to end the charging of interest on Wall Street transactions.
Thank you.
Another provision, one more thing with the Green New Deal is, I missed this earlier, it would cut our military budget in half, which would still put us well ahead of our competitors. We currently have a military budget that is as big as the next 10 nations' military budgets. We could cut that in half and still be ahead of our competitors, and I use that term loosely. And I would also answer the question that gets tossed around a lot with these programs: how are you going to pay for it? We defund the Pentagon, and we start spending money towards the promotion of life instead of the promotion of warfare.
And for our last question, Alex, misinformation can have damaging effects for democracy. What approaches might you take to ensure that the public has accurate, unbiased information about elections and about government?
I've worked in journalism. I've worked in media. I've studied journalism. When I started my undergraduate at Indiana University in 2005, my media professors told us that there were only 6 corporations that controlled most news outlets in the Western world. By the time I graduated, that number had shrunk to 5. We need to undo the media monopolies that started with the Telecommunications Act of 1996 and also the end of net neutrality that occurred under Obama. We need to undo that and break up these media monopolies. News outlets that delve in the spreading of misinformation or true fake news should be penalized, and they should be stripped of their broadcasting license if they are seen to be, if they're discovered to be deliberately misleading the public, whether it's to create a panic or to manipulate the economy. These are things that the media should not be doing. We need a fair and impartial news media, one that does not choose sides and that demands our government be accessible, transparent, and accountable to the people they serve. It's not the other way around.
Thank you very much. Those are the questions. That's the amount of time that we have. I'm very glad you joined us today. Thank you.
Thank you, and thanks for bearing with me with all the technical issues.
Of course.
This has been the Video Voters Guide. Thank you for watching. The general election is Tuesday, November 3rd. The last day to register is October 13th. Remember to mail your ballot a week ahead or visit a ballot drop location. Be sure to inform yourself about the candidates and ballot measures and exercise your right to vote.